Hello, friends. This is my open letter to the Prime Minister of India, to all the members of the Parliament, and to all the citizens of India. I will also email it to the Chief Justice of India. This is my complaint against injustice done to the democracy, to the judicial system of the country, injustice done to the Sikh community, and the humanity at large. We all know about the unparalleled sacrifices made by Sikh gurus. Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji, at the young age of 9, not only suggested his father to sacrifice his life, but also sacrificed his own sons for the sake of humanity. The contribution of Sikh community is known to the world. More than 90% of the Sikh life imprisonments and more than 90% death sentences led by Bhagat Singh during the freedom struggle were the sacrifices made by the Sikh community. In 1962 war against China, Sikh community contributed more than 90% of the gold and financial assistance. They were unmatched even during COVID. The oxygen lungers provided by them all over the world was once again a great service to humanity. I am personally benefited by the pearls of wisdom recommended in Guru Granth Sahib, since these were being recited every day at my home by my parents during my childhood. It is very unfortunate that on December 15, 2022, the High Court of Allahabad passed a shocking judgment and reduced the life imprisonment awarded to accused persons to 7 years of imprisonment in Pilibhit false encounter case. Reference is Criminal Appeal 549 of 2016. We all know that on July 12, 1991, a bus carrying Sikh pilgrims returning from a pilgrimage to Patna Sahib and Hazur Sahib was stopped by police at Katla Ghat police station, Kotwali Saran, district Eta, UP at about 10:11 am. They forcibly deboarded 10 Sikh gentlemen and took them in blue police minibus. They kept the bus moving with female and children pilgrims and dropped them at Pilibhit Gurdwara at night. And in three separate incidents within the jurisdiction of three adjoining police stations, murdered 10 Sikhs in false encounters on the night intervening 12th and 13th of July 1991. It was only when the Times of India reported this incident and RSOD advocate filed a writ petition in the Supreme Court of India that Supreme Court ordered re-investigation of the case by the CBI. That special court judge passed a reasoned judgment and categorically held that those Sikh pilgrims were killed in false encounters. The trial court awarded life imprisonment to all the accused persons. Shockingly, Justice Ramesh Sinha and Justice Saroj Yadav of Allahabad High Court held that it was a culpable homicide not amounting to murder and reduced the life imprisonment to 7 years. Interestingly, even the High Court held that police had no justification to kill the innocent persons, even if they were accompanied by some persons with criminal background. Way back in 2012, Supreme Court categorically held in the case of Om Prakash and others versus State of Jharkhand and another 2012, Volume 12, SCC, page 12, and it held, and I quote, it is not the duty of the police officers to kill accused merely because he is a dreaded criminal. Undoubtedly, the police have to arrest accused and put them on for trial. This court has repeatedly admonished trigger-happy police personnel who liquidate criminals and project the incident as an encounter. Such killings must be deprecated. They are not only recognized as legal by our criminal justice administration system, they amount to state-sponsored terrorism. Unquote. There was no witness to any encounter in this case, no injury to any police officer, many ante-mortem injuries on the deceased to suggest torture before killing. Local eyewitnesses deposed that they saw policemen with Sikhs in police jeep. Wives of two deceased categorically deposing that the policemen forcibly deboarded 11 Sikhs, and above all, The admission of accused persons that they acted as per the directions of the senior police officers who had held a meeting just 2 days before the incident, a reasoned judgment by the trial court, but shocking judgment by the High Court of Allahabad. Even a baby in law will not interpret the law this way. It is very clear from the language of exception 3 to section 3005 PC Indian Penal Code that, and I quote, culpable homicide is not murder if the offender, being a public servant or aiding a public servant, acting for the advancement of public justice, exceeds power given to him by law and causes death by doing an act which he, in good faith, believes to be lawful and necessary for the due discharge of his duty as such public servant and without ill will towards the person whose death is caused. Unquote. As per its own finding, the High Court, even innocent persons were killed with persons with criminal background. This shocking judgment by the High Court has shaken the confidence of people in judicial system of our country. It is a sin committed by these two judges. It is a breach of trust, threat, and an insult to the democracy, to the welfare society. It is a blot on Indian judicial system and on the image of India. This interpretation is a joke. Cold-blooded murder of 10 Sikh pilgrims has been interpreted simply as a case of police exceeding its power. The world will laugh at us. Even a first-year student will laugh at it. Interestingly, even the High Court in the same judgment observed, and I quote, the claim of appellants that they killed 10 terrorist persons in self-defense does not corroborate with the medical evidence as from the perusal of ante-mortem injuries of 4 deceased persons out of 10 deceased persons killed in the forest area of Faguni Ghat within the jurisdiction of police station Bilsanda, district Pilibhit. It transpires that apart from injuries of firearm, lacerated and abrasion wounds, as well as amputation, were found on the body of 4 deceased persons. The appellants have failed to explain, to prove, to lacerated wounds, abrasions and amputation caused on the body of the deceased. It is not the duty of police officers to kill the accused merely because he is a dreaded criminal. Undoubtedly, police have to arrest the accused and put them on trial. Unquote. High Court even noticed that on 10th of July 91, just 2 days before the incident, the Superintendent of Police Pilibhit called an urgent meeting with the station house officers of 3 police stations of Pilibhit, namely Neroya, Nibilsanda and Puranpur. Then 10 Sikhs were forcibly deported, that there were ante-mortem injuries, that a bus was hired for pilgrims. Admittedly, there was no proof of any encounter. There were no injuries to police officers. Yet the High Court held that they simply exceeded the powers and reduced the sentence to 7 years of imprisonment. This type of injustice will shake the faith of not only of the 141 crore Indians but also of the foreign investors who wish to invest in India. We must remind ourselves of the profound quote of great Martin Luther King that injustice anywhere is threat to justice everywhere. We all know the example of 9/11. Even a single disappointed man can create havoc in the society. This is not a case which should wait for a routine listing. This judgment should be set aside and corrected as early as possible to restore the faith of people in Indian judicial system. More than 50 years back, a constitution bench of our Supreme Court held that the term locus standi is foreign to criminal justice system and anyone can set the ball rolling. Therefore, I am requesting the Chief Justice of India to kindly order listing of this matter at the earliest and allow me to intervene, especially because the state has not done justice to the families of the victims and the society at large. And in case no appeal is filed, this may be treated as specially petition against the High Court judgment. Also, please order live streaming of this case so that the world knows as to how injustice is being administered, how the justice is being administered in India. Shedding modesty, I must say that having represented doyens of bar, Ashok Sen and Ram Jethmalani, many ministers, all top industrial houses like Tata, Birla, Reliance, Hinduja, and many important embassies like the US, UK, Germany, and having appeared in most important criminal matters of the history like Hawala, JMM, and Urea scam more than 25 years back. I am surely senior to all the judges in the country and can surely offer an advice or two to restore the prestige of the judicial system in the country and the image of democracy in India. I also appeal to the Prime Minister and to all the members of the Parliament to initiate the process of impeachment of these two judges, Justice Ramesh Sinha and Justice Saroj Yadav. It is not a bona fide error. It must be inquired as to whether any extraneous reasons influence this shocking judgment, this blot on the judicial system and the image of our nation, shook the faith of every right-thinking citizen. It has surely hurt the collective conscience of the society and Sikh community in particular. If a breach of trust of even 1 rupee by a banker renders him liable to punishment for life, then what should be the punishment for breach of trust by a constitutional authority is to be decided by all of us, and the onus is on the Prime Minister and the Chief Justice of India. That is why I am sending this open letter so that it is not swept under the carpet. The Chief Justice should also order immediate withdrawal of judicial work from these two judges. Shame the name is the most potent weapon to correct this society. It is not only prescribed in our scriptures, but it has also been enacted as law in many advanced democracies. So therefore, it is necessary to take immediate action. Every citizen of India should impress upon member of parliament from his constituency to demand impeachment of these two judges. I am quite aware that I am taking undue risk and my life would be surely in more danger now. But whenever I felt that injustice was done, which was crime against humanity, be it a case of Jessica murder, Shivani murder, Arushi murder, gas connection case involving hundreds of MPs, urea scam, or bifurcation of court, but I have been privileged to resolve more than 38 years back, जित मरने से जग डरे मेरे मन आनंद और मरने ही ते पाइए पूर्ण परम आनंद. So death does not scare me. I would prefer to die on my feet than to live on my knees. Ball is now in the court of Prime Minister of India and the Chief Justice of India to restore the faith of common man, society at large, and Sikh community in particular, because 10 Sikh pilgrims were murdered in these false encounters. Friends can send me their suggestions on my email ashokarora2310 @gmail.com. Jai Hind.